When building a bubble app, should you be building a one-page app just like this, where if I click, I'll go through different views, I share and hide different groups, but all on the same page? Or should I build a multi-page app? Well, in this bubble tutorial video, I'm going to describe my personal perspective on the pros and cons of each. But before I launch into that, if you're learning Bubble, you're watching this video, and if you want to watch more videos like this, head over to our website, planetnocode.com, to become a member and gain access to our complete library of Bubble tutorial and no-code tutorial videos. But let me describe what I've got here first, which is an app that I've built in a previous tutorial. And if I bring up the address bar, we can see that I'm on the page, one page, and then view is currently settings. And if I click through to orders, then I scroll along. Now the view is orders. And if I go into my app, just to show how I've got this working, into body, orders is visible when the view parameter in the URL is orders, and when one of these buttons is clicked, let's have a look here. We go to view and we put the current sales view display. I'm using an option set to get my display values in there. And to be honest, this is the best way that I've found to run a one-page app, because I get a really quick response. There's no page reload, there's no flicker as I go between the different pages here. But I actually have a URL with data on it that if I were to share with another user, I mean, imagine someone asks a question about your app and you want to take them to a specific point. You want to be able to send them a link that takes them to that specific point. So this is my personal favorite way of doing a one-page app. The other way would be custom states. We've got videos covering that. But yeah, this is basically using URL parameters and the go-to action to do that. Now, downsides of a one-page app are that in the editor, you can end up with many more groups and basically views for your app, and that can scale poorly. I mean, if you've got a lot of content being loaded in your Bubble editor on the same page, then you might find that the editor becomes a bit unresponsive. You can also just simply find it's really hard to find the bits that you're trying to work on, and that can slow down your development time, and don't underestimate how much that can add up. My personal preference with this question of should I build a multi-page app or a one-page app is that unless you are going for a native mobile-like experience, I personally would always go for a multi-page app, meaning that my settings page would be a page here. Now, this is really cluttered because this is an app that I use for a lot of demos, but I would have a settings page in here, and I would have what are the other options? I'd have an orders page so that when the user clicks, it actually loads in a new page. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think if you look at even like enterprise level SaaS applications, they are not seeming to be so concerned about whether a user feels like they're using native software compared to using a website. If they're accessing it through a web browser, I think most users are accustomed to a page load taking place. Now, if you're building a mobile app like experience, maybe you are going down the wrapper route to try and get it into an app store. Personally, I think that that's risky. Might have a video or two on that coming out soon. If you go down that route, then yes, you're going to want to give your users that experience of when they click on a menu item, things change instantly. And you can do that with a one-page app. But I would say any other reason, if you're building it for desktop first, for example, or mobile, it's going to behave like a website. If you're okay with that, then I would go with a multi-page view, because I think that makes it easier to offer support to your customers, and it makes it easier for you to develop it. In a nutshell, in my opinion, only go for a one-page app if you are trying to create a native mobile app-like experience. If you're not trying to do that, personally, I would go with a multi-page app. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Please leave a comment down below. Tell us what your thought process was between building a multi-page app or building a one-page app.